If civilization collapsed, could you rebuild it? Let's go.
Imagine waking up in a world where modern civilization has collapsed.
Yes, of course you can. We just do what we did before. Better question, could you survive a zombie apocalypse? Just watched the most recent 28 Years Later, and it got me thinking about my area where I live and could I survive it if the zombies came. Now, 28 years later, the zombies are fast. They are quick. Night of the Living Dead or Shaun of the Dead, they're like slow zombies. So of course you think you can survive that. But 28 years later, those are a different level of zombies and they are quick. However, my plan. I live near the Thames. I live near the river. There are tons of boatyards and fisheries with lots of weapons. A lot of these fisheries have gun licenses and they have rifles. This is how I would survive. After taking the weapons, I'd find a little island somewhere because there's lots of these little islands on the Thames. Because have you ever seen a zombie swim? And that's how I'm getting past stage one, surviving. What would you do in your town?
No electricity, no supermarkets, no internet. In such a scenario, how would we rebuild? Lewis Dartnell's The Knowledge offers a roadmap to reconstructing society from the ground up. So let's dive into the 7 essential steps to reboot civilization. And if this kind of idea sounds familiar, it might be because I made a video about how useless most of us would be if we were dropped into the distant past about a month ago.
Of course we would. We're so used to modern society and modern things that make our life easy. We would all struggle. But I'll tell you one thing about humans is we can adapt. And the second one is we can persevere. We easily can get used to the situation we're in. But of course we need survival instincts. And I don't think I could make a fire.
I thought this one is a sequel of sorts. Also, I want to clarify right now that what I mean is essentially think of a global catastrophe, essentially post-apocalyptic in a sense. That is the type of world from which we're going to try and rebuild society from. So the immediate first step would be to prioritize shelter, warmth, and water. In the immediate aftermath of the...
So I've got water, which I shouldn't really be drinking because it's the Thames, but maybe we can try and filter it somehow. Shelter, I can build a little hut. On the island that I talked about, food, I'm going to fish. I've got fish. I've got this solved, but I need to repopulate.
Catastrophe, securing shelter is key. Exposure to the elements can be as deadly as any other threat. You want to seek out existing structures that can be repurposed, but always assess their stability. And if none are available, constructing a basic shelter using natural materials like wood, leaves, and mud can provide the necessary protection that you would need to survive in this environment.
Got loads of that here in the UK.
Warmth is critical, especially in colder climates. So learn to build efficient fires using available resources. Understanding insulation techniques such as using layers of clothing or creating windbreaks can really help retain body heat. And of course, water is crucial for...
Windbreaks, I wouldn't have thought about that because I hate the wind. Does anybody else hate the wind? Like it can be a beautiful sunny day or it can be a cool, crisp winter's day and the wind just ruins it.
Survival. So natural sources like rivers and lakes might be contaminated. So boiling water is the reliable method to killing pathogens. Additionally, constructing simple filtration systems using sand, charcoal, and gravel would help purify the water. Step 2 is to scavenge wisely and initiate farming. Initially, scavenging available resources like canned goods, tools, and seeds would be able to sustain you, but that's a temporary solution.
We're going to get a ton of canned food until we learn how to properly fish, and then we just have constant food from the river.
Transitioning to agriculture ensures long-term food security.
Yeah, and I will grow some tomatoes and potatoes because they both grow incredibly well here in the UK. Couple of leeks, find a cow to make butter, and you've got yourself a fish pie.
Understanding soil types, crop rotation, and irrigation techniques will be fundamental in establishing a reliable food source. Start by identifying fast-growing, high-yield crops suitable for your environment. Think beans, potatoes, and leafy greens as good options. Save seeds from each harvest to ensure future planting, and composting organic waste can enrich the soil, promoting better crop growth. Step 3 is...
I feel like having the book wherever this guy learnt it from would definitely help. So I'm going to purchase a copy of this book just in case.
Is to commit to intensive farming practices. Farming is labor-intensive and requires dedication. Selecting appropriate crops for the climate, managing pests, and ensuring soil fertility are continuous tasks. Like I said before, implementing composting and natural fertilizers can enhance the yield, and over time, mastering these practices will be able to lead to a surplus in production, allowing for trade and community growth. I think it's also important to consider diversifying your crops to prevent soil depletion and reduce the risk of total crop failure. You want to incorporate livestock if possible, since animals can provide meat, milk, and labor.
I am going to struggle to find cows on this island of mine, and then I can't even get the cows over. Oh well. I'm lactose intolerant anyway. Who needs dairy?
A successful farm requires constant attention and adaptation to changing conditions. Step 4 is to develop reliable heat energy sources. Beyond basic warmth, heat energy is essential for cooking, sterilization, and industrial processes. Constructing efficient stoves and
Industrial process. I'm not making clothes here. I'm not melding steel. I'm not building infrastructure again. I'm just surviving here. Maybe I can fish so much that I can sell my fish for other goods, for other things that I can't create. That's how we started in the first place anyway, by trading.
kilns can aid these tasks. Exploring renewable energy sources like solar or wind can provide sustainable power solutions. Understanding and harnessing these energies will be pivotal in advancing technological
It might be a really stupid question about how do you harness solar without electricity in the first place. I actually don't know how solar works. Maybe somebody can let me know. Because every solar panel, because you turn on who knows?
capabilities. Wood gasification is a method where wood is converted into combustible gas, which can power engines. During World War II, over 1 million vehicles in Europe ran on wood gas due to fuel shortages. Learning such techniques can be
Didn't know that.
invaluable in a post-apocalyptic world. Step 5 is to maintain rigorous hygiene standards. Preventing disease outbreaks hinges on cleanliness. Regular hand washing, waste disposal, and clean living.
Yeah, and if you get a cut, you damage yourself however you get hurt, whether it's from just like trying to fish, or whether you're trying to build something, or you're scavenging and you cut yourself, or a zombie bite, you need to make sure you clean that properly. You don't want to get infected.
Environments are non-negotiable. Producing soap from animal fats and ash is a simple yet effective method, and educating the community on hygiene practices will safeguard health and ensure social stability. You want to construct latrines away from water sources to prevent contamination. Boil or filter
Yeah, don't shit in your water.
drinking water to eliminate pathogens, like I mentioned earlier. And you want to also encourage practices like regular bathing and cleaning of living spaces to reduce the spread of illness. And maybe also because nobody wants to live in a musty world. Step 6 is to provide effective medical care with basic technology. While advanced medical equipment may be unavailable, basic healthcare is achievable. Understanding herbal remedies, wound care, and sanitation can address common ailments. Training individuals in first aid and establishing protocols for emergencies will be life-saving. Over time, rebuilding medical knowledge and infrastructure will enhance community resilience. Ideally, you would create a stockpile of medicinal plants known for their healing properties. Learn to identify and prepare.
Yeah, organic remedy, healing medicines are vital, especially like even for everyday things, like if you get headaches, they can be debilitating and it will stop you from wanting to farm also and do other things like that.
These remedies safely. Establish a clean area for treating injuries and isolate those who are ill to prevent the spread of illness. Quarantining. And step number 7 is to reconstruct timekeeping methods. Timekeeping is crucial for agriculture, coordination, and societal organization. Observing celestial patterns can aid in developing calendars. Constructing sundials or water clocks can provide daily time measurement. Reestablishing a sense of time will bring structure and predictability to daily life. Understanding the seasons helps in planning agriculture.
I feel like we've lived long enough on this earth that we can understand seasons, especially if you are in the scenario where you normally are. You're used to the seasons, you're used to what spring feels like, summer feels like, autumn and winter, and then you can just follow the sun depending on what the season is. Rise in the morning, do your farm work, water the farm work in the evening when the sun sets so it doesn't burn. There you go.
Cultural activities. Regular timekeeping allows for scheduling tasks, meetings, and rituals, and it also fosters a sense of normalcy and order within the community. Now, if I could add one step to this, that step would be to add communication
Oh, there's a community. See, I wasn't really seeing anybody else here, just me. Me and the voices.
technologies. So while Dardanelle's 7 steps provide a solid foundation for rebuilding civilization, reestablishing communication is equally vital in my opinion. Effective communication enables coordination, information sharing, and the reformation of social structures. Assuming there's an absence of a lot of modern infrastructure, simple communication methods can be invaluable. For instance, Morse
Carrier pigeon, yelling really loud, love letters in tree holes.
code, which represents letters and numbers through combinations of dots and dashes, can be used to transmit messages over long distances.
What? There's what? There's American Morse code and then international. What? So not only do Americans say things and butcher the king's English, their Morse code is different. Why America?
Using basic equipment. Constructing a rudimentary telegraph system with scavenged materials allows for the sending and receiving of messages, facilitating coordination among the survivors. Additionally, building a crystal radio, a simple receiver that requires no external power source, can allow you to pick up AM broadcast signals. In a collapsed society, this could be critical for receiving weather alerts, survivor communications, or emergency messages. In fact, similar foxhole radio...
Weather alerts? How are you getting a weather alert when there's no electricity? Who's doing the weather alert? Well, he's looking out at the ocean. Hurricane.
Radios were built by soldiers during World War II using blue razor blades and graphite to create functioning receivers. Even with limited tools, guides exist showing how to replicate these designs. I guess they wouldn't be as accessible in that scenario, but it's the fact that they are even made that show the simplicity of this technology. Overall, reestablishing communication networks not only aids in immediate survival, but also lays the groundwork for rebuilding societal structures. By sharing knowledge, coordinated efforts, and fostering a sense of community, communication technology plays a pivotal role in the resurgence of civilization. It's literally what makes humans better than every other animal on this planet.
Yeah, because then we can do things together. I can fish, but Dave can build weather report towers. So between us, we can build our community.
Our ability to share knowledge through our language and be able to teach our kin, it is second to none, but I digress. But yeah, rebuilding civilization is a monumental task, but with knowledge, resourcefulness, and collaboration, it's achievable. Lewis Dartnell's The Knowledge serves as a guide, illuminating the path forward. By understanding and applying these principles, humanity can rise from the ashes and forge a new, thriving society. For a deeper dive into this topic, I suggest exploring The Knowledge, How to Rebuild Our World from Scratch by Lewis Dartnell.
Thank you, Barman. That was a good video. So I generally might be a little bit cocky. Maybe I'm being too optimistic, but I think I could survive in this scenario. I think I know what I'm doing. There are some things I can do. There's lots of things I can't. I guess we'll find out soon, right?
See me on way out of here, too far to stop. This ass really caught my ass. Bitch so pretty, look better. Knocking on shoes and she calling me daddy. Walking on shit, trying to look like this. Came out the color, ain't never made a swagger. Security bank. Yeah.